Well, last time I had a dream about being at the university. Well, um, on Tuesday, I dreamed of being at a university and signed up for another course. And I remember asking him, do I have to get into really heavy mathematics and differential equations? He said, no, you can handle the math on this one. So I said, sign me up. So I woke up from that dream. On Monday, last Monday, I had an interesting dream, but I don't remember any of the details. But the dream, I dreamed of the plan, the preparation, and the show that you're working on. Could you elaborate on that for me a little bit? Because I don't have any detail of that, but I remember. I mean, when I dreamed it, I could see what was going on, but I couldn't remember any of it after I woke up. But I do remember there's a plan, preparation, and a show all being staged. So could you elaborate on that for us, Dwayne?
Well, that's all top secret for now.
Oh, is it?
That's why you don't remember it, Bob.
I figured that might be the case.
Yes. Okay. So you got a peek, but you're not to tell.
Okay. All right.
It's going to be a surprise.
Okay.
Yes. Only a few people know because, again, things get funny. So, of course, there's no secrets in life. No, but, again, people have to be prepared also. So that's what you're seeing, too. There's a plan. There's a preparation. The best you can, like anything you prepare for. But then it happens. And, you know, like right now what we're talking about and what John brought up, etc. Yes, you know, we like to forget these things. But then again, as Sandy brought these in, I didn't know about that hailstorm, but I've been in hailstorms. And, yes, it's all purposely planned. And, you know, most people don't want to face it. Of course, we don't want this, but at the same time, this is the challenge. And for those who have this opportunity, it gives you an opportunity to focus more on the isness, to figure that out, to recognize it. That's the whole idea, because that's why we're in creation. At the same time, we deal with this. So there is a show coming. Yeah, it is a show because that's in creation. So it's the big show that's coming. And so many people have their idea about it, but it's really more than that. So, yeah, you're there because you're curious, etc. But also, you at this time don't understand it, and that's why you can't see it or remember it either. You know, it's like taking a kid into the university and, you know, even into the classroom when the teachers are talking or whatever. But that child is going to go home and he's just going to forget it, right? He's not going to remember. So you're taking a step at a time, you know, shown certain things on the real side, and it's up to you to decide, you know, how more aware you're going to become with that and how you want to be involved. So just like taking your child 5 or 10 years old to the university that you went to, you know, you're giving him the option to decide at some point to go there too or not. You see, so again, things are introduced, and you decide. And this is where I said and constantly saying that, you know, again, most people are more interested in their, you know, routine, and continue those on until lifetimes. And so, yeah, so you're given a hint there, but you wouldn't. It would take too much explanation to go through to explain what's going on. But a step at a time, just like watching a movie. You know, watch the movie and you'll see, you know, what happens at the end. You see, so as long as you're there and you're participating and you're paying attention, which most people doesn't pay attention, then they will see. Otherwise, a lot of people will be surprised. They won't know what to do because they didn't prepare. But again, you decide you know, you decide from that experience how you want to take part, or if at all. That's kind of the idea there, young man.
I hear a lot of chickens or clucking and stuff in the background.
It sounds more like paper.
Or paper, something's making a bunch of background noise. Well, you know, you talk about taking a kid to the university. Somewhere around 1990 or and later, I took my kids to the University of Illinois, and they were, I think, 6 or 7 years old. And Julie, and I was looking up a book, and University of Illinois has about 5 different libraries. They have an undergraduate library, a graduate library, and a whole bunch of law library, and all these different libraries. But they did have this one very interesting library that was all underground and went about 5 stories underground. And in order to get a whole bunch of books stored in a small area, they have these huge bookshelves that are maybe 30 or 40, 50 feet long and about 12 feet high. And they're on racks that are about 1.5 feet or 2 feet wide, and they're on tracks. And so if you want to get into a particular aisle, you have to push a button and let these tracks slowly roll left or right so you can walk in between the aisles. And my daughter was with me, and I mean, she was old enough to know about reading and books and all that kind of stuff. And I randomly picked up some books off the bookshelf, and some of them were dated like 1200 and 800 AD, and probably the newest book that I saw in this particular section of the library, the most recent book was probably dated like 1850 or something. It was a very interesting experience, which, you know, I should call her up and see if she remembers that experience. Well, anyway, I had one other interesting dream, and in a way, this is kind of scary. At least Sadie would be scared.
Are you sure?
The dream was I was out in public with a whole bunch of explosives. And I couldn't figure out I mean, why would I be, you know, being as peaceful as I am, why would I be out in public with a whole bunch of explosives? You know, and I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and then all of a sudden it hit me like a ton of bricks. The explosives weren't real explosives. What they were those Rebisar cards that we printed out to take to the seminar with us. And I realized that every time I took one of Rebisar's card and placed it somewhere, you know, whether it be in the bathroom or just throwing it on the floor, it made a huge explosive sound that attracted attention from anybody within hearing of it. And so I thought that was kind of an interesting dream. And not only that, as a follow-up to that, I kind of remember seeing Harold, which I've never seen before in this kind of a setting. And all I remember about Harold was he was going through all these emotional reactions to these explosives. He went to rebelling and fighting, and then very passive and introspective, and there was about 6 different emotions that he went through. And then I woke up from that dream. So would you like to comment on that?
Well, it looks like you're going to be bothering him, Bob.
I think.
Yeah, and just going back to you know, the experience you had last week, you shared with the depth charges and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because these people, you know, it implies that they're in submarines, etc. They're submerged. And so, again, it's the same idea where you have the depth charges and you're waking them up. No, it's not explosives, but again, the experience exaggerates itself to where, yes, you wake up. I've had experiences like this too, and it's like, okay, what am I doing there? You know, doing this and whatever. Because it's not your nature. But after a while, you start to recognize a little. This is where it's hard on the personal self to figure these things out. So this is why most people don't want to, because yeah, it is scary. It's like all of a sudden you're somewhere and you've got all this dynamite. It looks like you're going to rob a bank or something. So again, this can be rather psychological to a person too, and the dreams and etc. So as they go to a psychiatrist about the dreams that they're having, past life experiences or whatever, you know, you're going to get their viewpoint. So then you're really going to get screwed up. So yeah, it takes a lot to sort this out. So yes, first, you know, the reference material that is produced here, the knowledge that makes sense with the whole of life. Yeah, it's very important. And from there, just like the Skypes we're having, to discuss this so you figure it out so that you're okay. You know, you can get through creation because it's a lot. But yeah, there you go. So you guys are preparing this. So you've got your sticks of dynamite on the real side. You're ready to go.
Yeah, I was thinking more in terms of hand grenades, but dynamite's probably better. So yeah, we can't wait to head over there, and I have a new approach now. I think I know how to videotape everybody and not get any problems with them. And I told Sandy that this morning. Here's my new thinking. We'll take a camera out and we'll go up to Eckes and say, you mind if I take my pictures of you, because you know, this is going to be our last seminar, and I just want to go around and take pictures of everybody, remember all these wonderful times we had over here. But I know that Eckankar is going to be gone in a year or two once everybody finds out that Harold is not really a Mahanta. He doesn't have the rod of power, and I'm afraid it's not going to last very long. So I want to take all these wonderful pictures of everybody. So that's a new approach I'm thinking of doing, and I think people would be more open for the camera until they hear my remark at the end. So
are you going to be standing close to him, Sandy, when he says all this to these people?
I'm not sure. Probably, but he comes up with some good ones. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see
how it goes.
Well, if we don't do a Skype the following Sunday, you'll know that we're somewhere unavailable for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, there's only one other dream I would like your thought on. And that was where I was in a theater with really long hallways and staircases up and down all over the place at the end of these long hallways. And then I woke up from that dream. But that's one I haven't figured out yet. Any thoughts on that one?
Well, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know if you kids remember, there was a TV show, it's black and white, probably in the 50s. It was called Name That Tune.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You remember that one?
Sure do.
And really, remember at the end of the show that, okay, so it was, you know, the thing is that, you know, for the final whatever, person had to name that tune, and what did they start off with? Ding. Okay, yeah. So what is that?
Yeah, one note. Guess.
Then it was ding ding. They'd give them little hits, ding ding. And so it's kind of like that, Bob. In other words, yeah, it's kind of like name that tune. In other words, you've got a note there, but you need the rest of the notes. In other words, that's kind of like the start of a movie. As you watch movies are very interesting. Again, I see them as documentaries. They're very good because you get all these viewpoints, very condensed, and have some fun at the same time. But it just you look at how movies start. The old style was they would show the credits or the name of the movie. It was a standard. But as time went on, like the James Bond films or other ones, all of a sudden you're right in the action. And then after 5 minutes, they do the credits and what have you. So everybody starts the movie different. So, every day, you're going into a new movie, like on the real side, just like here, when you wake up, it's a new movie. And so, if you want to take it into the 24 or 12-hour, 24-hour mode, whatever, that's just one way to look at it. Start to finish when you get up in the morning. And at the end of the day, people usually go to work, they come home, they're exhausted. Okay, that's kind of the end of the movie, and then they start again. So, that's where you are too. And the long hallways and the staircases, there's many options there. And, it's, as you go to the movies, and in your case right there, to find the movie theater, because whatever's playing there, not all people can find it. It's got the long hallways, etc. You got to go down here and whatever, and most people won't take the time to find that place that's playing that particular movie to see certain things. So again, you're exploring, and there's many options with that, but that's the beginning of the movie. So that's the main idea. Movies are great, the big screen, because you're seeing the bigger picture, so to speak, when you're at the movies, and it depends upon what you're seeing and what the idea in the movie theater is, as opposed to your television set, which is a smaller picture, because televisions are personal. That's like your personal self, more so, because you have a TV in your house, which is your little self, etc. It's an example of that. But the movies is outside of your personal self, and so the boys use the movie idea to try and show people the bigger picture. You see, so again, there's the idea, and you'll probably go through the process to see, try and find out what that movie is about, or whatever you decide. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I had been asking. Well, this will be two dreams right here, but what give me some hints on what I should be eating, and I'll just give you a little synopsis of this. Rebisar, I was standing in a field, and Rebisar had driven a dump truck up, with the back end facing me, and he got out, and he opened the back door of the dump truck, and out came humongous carrots, normal size, different types of squash, and what looked to be a few russet potatoes thrown in. So it was just a whole dump truck full of that. So I guess I'm going to add a few more vegetables to my diet, especially the carrots that had come out of the dump truck were probably 2.5 feet long and diameter. You couldn't even get your hands around them. They were so big. So carrots, carrot juice, squash in the future, a few potatoes. And then I had another dream, and in it, I was the little girl who, when she always walked by the butter dish, she dipped her finger in and ate the butter. Okay. I love butter.
This is Butterfinger.
Yeah, Mrs. Butterfinger is right. Anyway, I dreamt that this stick of butter had been in a car accident. Just a stick of butter. And there were, like, if you've ever been in a severe car accident, which I have, the windows kind of all shattered, but there's like little pieces of glass and little round circles of glass. And well, this had stuck in the butter. And so I went and I pulled out the pieces I could see. And then, of course, I stuck my finger in the butter to see if the rest of it was still good. But what I ended up with in my mouth and I was chewing glass, and it was crunching. It was awful. And so I had to walk over to the sink and really rinse my mouth out. So butter may not be in my future. Anyway, do you have any comments, Dwayne?
Yes, because of what this stuff is made of now, it's very obvious that it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a danger to you. And besides, just imagine, if you would, in the physical sense, chewing butter with glass and then swallowing it, what would it do? It would rip your insides. So that's what it's doing.
I discovered, this is quite a few years ago, about what they do to the milk and the butter through the homogenization and the pasteurization. Of course, everybody knows that pasteurizing is heating at extreme temperatures, so it kills all the enzymes. But it's the homogenization is the real poison, because what they do is they squirt the milk through a high pressure nozzle into a centrifuge, and that impacts the molecules, and it literally joins the cream and the milk molecules together in a non-digestible form. And that's what that homogenization thing is all about. So that's why all the milks and all the creams, unless they're just homegrown and taken right from the cow, you don't even want to touch it. And there, by the way, there's something else that I discovered a couple of days ago. I was trying to find out some things about good toxin elements for, we got the horses, And I was talking to a lady, and I happened to mention the MSM, which is what we all presume to be a good sulfur. Well, come to find out that all the MSM goes through a special chemical treatment, which is why it's white. I didn't realize it, but pure sulfur is yellow. Mm-hmm. And I discovered a little, it's called the White Buffalo Trading Post online. I started digging for pure 100% sulfur, and this is the only website that came up. And it's pretty amazing how this stuff works and how quickly it works and how little you need. It's also, it lasts indefinitely. If you store it properly, it never wears out, but it's not in a powder, it's in a flake form. And apparently it's not very easily accessible, but this one company, or this one guy, I think he's by himself with his family, they have it. So just thought I'd pass that on.
Are you talking about pure sulfur?
Yes, pure, 100% pure sulfur flakes.
The kind we used to use in our high school chemistry class?
The what?
The kind of sulfur we used in our high school chemistry class?
I don't even know if that's what you had, but this
that was pure sulfur.
It's yellow.
Yeah, and it stunk to high heaven.
Yeah, and then you burn it, and it smells like rotten eggs.
Yeah.
And you just put like a quarter of a teaspoon in your mouth and chew it up. And I don't know what it smells like, because I haven't got my hands on this yet. I'll have it Wednesday, so I'll keep you updated. But see,
you let us know.
Yeah, the main reason for it is for the horses at this point. But after reading all of the what and where's fors on it, it looks like there's been a lot of people that use this for a very long time. And of course, it's for the connective tissues, the muscles. It's an inflammatory, it's one of those essentials that everybody should have every day. So, all right, I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, when I was a teenager, you know how your face breaks out. There was one product on the market that was Dorothy Gray blemish cream, and it had a lot of sulfur in it because you could smell it. But you'd put it on, I'd put it on my face, and the next morning everything would be normal again. The breakouts were gone. So it was amazing. Then of course they took it off the market because it worked. But that was my experience with sulfur. It smelled bad. I mean, I won't You really had to scrub your face in the morning to get rid of the smell as it went into the skin itself, the pores.